at the same point in time, the purpose, I believe, the purpose.
Oh, the overall purpose of
that may have been like more or less what I was getting at. What was the purpose of the speech?
I think that they were just they thought they were doing the right thing, and they thought they could try to bring the country together with this speech. But at the same time, he did attempt to target half the country and calling Trump supporters.
I would say a quarter. I would say a quarter, not half.
All right. Well, either way, you're still you're calling an extremely large population 25% of the United States extremists.
Yes, and this is where I started. Like, it was like, what the fuck are you saying?
Yeah, you can't say at the same time we're gonna bring everybody together and then target a quarter or half of the country,
25%
as extremists.
And on top of that, think about this, okay? He was basically speaking to Republicans, right? So he's trying to. This is my whole entire thought process.
I think he was trying to see.
He was trying to divide the Republicans, the Republican Party, right?
And the independents, I think he was talking to also.
Well, first of all, the independents already, I gotta have to assume, are smart enough to know that they just don't care about what he says.
That's probably, I wouldn't say that, because
speaking as an independent
person kind of takes information from all sides and makes the best decision for themselves.
Exactly.
But in order to be an independent, you have to be a well-educated, or not. Well, you have to be a well-informed person.
That's right.
Because somebody who's just a Republican or Democrat outright doesn't pay attention to anything that's happening.
They vote more or less along party lines.
Right. They just vote along the lines, and they don't really have to. If you are a Democrat or Republican, they don't need to cater to you whatsoever. They already know that they have your vote. So, quite frankly, you're the most useless fucking voter in the country.
Really?
If you're not going to make decisions based upon what's best for you and what best for the country, and you just vote along party lines regardless of what their ideas or decisions or the way that they're going to run the country are, then you are a fool.
That is actually fair, but I didn't expect it to come out in that kind of verbiage.
I mean, why sugarcoat
it? Fist bump on camera. There we go. Anyway.
So you want to kind of go through, kind of like, I'll go through my notes a little bit here, and you.
Well, I mean, we're still like talking about the general narrative of this speech.
Well,
I mean, I think quite honestly, and unless you're like, nah, we know what's going on.
I think another thing that they probably were counting on was that they were trying to also antagonize that section of American voters, and attempting to make them do something radical and make them seem like they're not part of the system. And if they do so, and what they would do is, if they do something radical and they go out there, they have more reason to target them. They have more reason to criminalize them. They have more reason to go after them.
I would say refringe on the First Amendment or Second Amendment. Sorry, apologies.
Well, yeah, there's definitely. I do have in here in my notes something about, he was talking about. Let me find it right. He's basically talking about.
Look, I mean, we can get there. All right, I'm just gonna let you fucking take over from here.
All right. So to start off with, the first portion of his speech was basically attempting to target Trump supporters.
I'm gonna be honest. It almost sounds like one of those things that you would see at the Reichstag, right? It was like, we can do that later.
Yeah, you're probably gonna want to cut that part out.
But it sounded like that. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? And this is the president of the fucking United States of America.
Yeah. So he's basically saying he was attempting at targeting Trump supporters. He was he said that the so basically he said that the Republican Party is being held basically by intimidation by Trump supporters. And
he actually, I believe the words used was assault on democracy.
Right. I mean, an assault on this. So we're talking about actual people who have strong beliefs, and they are out. They are telling the Republican Party what they believe and what they want, and they're calling that intimidation.
Well,
it should be, first of all.
No. I actually believe it's the Republican Party that is telling them to be like, hey, you guys are wrong.
Well, here's the thing. They can't say that. The Republican Party and every single representative in this country should be afraid of their constituents, not by health, but they should be afraid that they're not going to get their vote next time. So you are forced to do what a majority of your people
leads to systemic problem, though.
What does?
Okay, if you're doing everything you do just to get a vote. You see the problem here?
You have to if you don't do what your constituents say.
Right. You understand the systemic problem. The system is flawed.
The system is flawed because corporations control more power in the voting than the people do. The constituents, the people are the constituents. The representatives who are being voted for
of corporations.
No, the representatives.
Corporations.
Well, that's what they are right now. But the senator or the
people vote the representatives in.
Right. It's not into
do your own due diligence and do not allow media, number one, to so meld your mind, I guess, in a way.
Basically, he's saying that by expecting more from your politician is intimidating. That's what Joe Biden basically said. Expecting your politician to vote and act in the way that you want is intimidation. Because now you're expecting them to act that way or they're not going to be voted again. So you're being held hostage by your people that voted for you.
Hold on. So he's saying, in your opinion,
yes,
he is saying that in order, that actually made no sense at all to me. Can you say that one more time?
All right.
Then I'll come back in.
I'm running for the House.
You're running for the
I'm running for the House.
House of Reps.
No, the House of Representatives.
House of Reps.
Okay. So
House of Reps of corporations.
If my voting base wants me to do a certain thing or act a certain way, then that's what I have to do because I'm representing them. And is that being held hostage or people in?
No, that's representing your people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's representing your people. That's what I'm fucking going to say.
Exactly. So anyway,
rather than let's say you have a corporation, corporate interest that is big in your state or district or whatever. Okay, they have a large
coffers.
Not necessarily even coffers, but they employ a large amount of people in your area.
Right.
You have to keep them happy.
Yeah, that's true.
This is where my dilemma lies.
All right. I know he said outright that MAGA Republicans don't respect the Constitution.
I believe I can cross off threat on my list. With that one.
So, who is trying to tear apart the Constitution right now?
Quite honestly, I believe.
First of all, the MAGA Republicans believe more in the Constitution than most of the politicians do.
Yes, and
especially on one side of the aisle.
This is realistically what fucking terrifies me. It's like, at what point in time are these, individuals? We will say, like, okay, yeah, you know what? Fuck the American people. Even though they are the ones that vote us into office. However,
next he said,
you can't tell me you don't foresee this coming.